I'm Vinod, a 21-year-old trainee software engineer from PNC Products Group. I joined Mastek just 8 months ago, and I'm the youngest contestant here at Tech Talk 2013. The topic that I'm going to talk today is on automation. But before we start what automation is, let's try to understand why do we need it and what are the benefits that we can get out of it. The first benefit that we can get is super fast outputs. I have compiled and came to know that around 20 to 25 days of task can be actually done in just 2 minutes. And I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it, but I actually mean it. Less resources are required if you use automation. And automation can be actually used with the standards and conventions. So no major changes are done at the end. Less human interventions are required. Since most of the tasks are actually done by the softwares and the computers, less human intervention is required. So there will be happy customers. More profit, and this is the biggest, you can say, the advantage of using automation. And I believe that if you use automation perfectly, you can get maximum benefit out of it. And I believe that if a company gains profit, even an employee gains it. Automation is mostly used in automobile industry, and when a machine can create a machine, after all, car is also a machine, right? When a machine can create a machine, why can't we create a software that creates another software? And this is where the actual idea came from. This is the classical definition of automation which is taken from the Wikipedia. It says automation is the use of machines, control systems, and information technology to optimize productivity in the production of goods and delivery of services. But according to me, automation is anything that happens automatically and gives us the desired output with less human efforts. Let's take the differences between the approaches. This is the current approach, whereas that one is the new approach which I am proposing. In this approach, we need more resources and it is tightly coupled. Whereas that one, the user just needs to give the input and it generates the output. This is a small calculation that I did, and I found that around 20 to 25 days of task can be actually done in 2 minutes if you use automation. And here are some statistics. I found 2 solutions for that. The first one is Excel to Script, which is a software which I have written in my free time. This is written in Java programming language, and the second one is using image recognition technology. Around 70 to 75% of the people in my project, or you can say the resources, have used it. So what it can do for you? It can actually generate database scripts, or what we can say as SQL scripts, so that, and this is generated from the design specification. So even a business guy with no knowledge of SQL can actually generate fairly complex SQL scripts with using this utility. And even it will be helpful for developers because it saves a lot of time and efforts. And these are some type of SQL scripts that it can generate. Apart from that, it can also generate domain types and object models. Domain types are basically the XML representation of user-defined data types, and object models are XML representation of POJOs. It has got an inbuilt dictionary called Jazzy. This is very useful. It avoids a lot of file referential problems. It checks for the file names. It has got around 40,000 words, and we can even add it. It has got a consistency module, which basically checks whether there are any inconsistencies between the design specification and the output generated. And I have written 4 different utilities for that. The first one is object model comparator. This is basically the XML. It actually compares each and every attribute of an XML with each and every attribute in the design specification. And the another one is database Excel synchronizer. What it does is it actually removes the unwanted and extra columns from the database and saves memory for us. Database XML synchronizer. This is similar to the first one. Second one, it removes the attributes from the XML, unwanted attributes. And the last one is object relation synchronizer. This one is useful to verify the object relation, and it does a lot of computation and gives the output based on permutation and combination. Apart from that, it also got status in percentage. It means that the manager or whoever is actually responsible for the task will actually come to know how much task has been completed and how much task is remaining. So you will never be left behind in the darkness. Now the actual part comes. I use the Java SQL API, which is an open source project from MIT University, a group called User Interface Design Group. I've created this project. It is actually developed by MIT University, but now it is maintained by University of Colorado. What it actually does is, you can actually create computer programs which can do almost anything that a human being can do with computers. Like for example, automatic user interface. You can automatically make pixel perfect user interfaces using automation. You can create automatic UI testing. It will be very useful when we have no source code available. It has got automatic installation. Let's say, for example, one of my friend doesn't know how to install a particular software. In that case, I can write a program and can give him, and I can tell him just double click on it and it will automatically install that software on his PC. So it saves a lot of travel costs as well as cost of CICs in case of business. So if it can work for our friends, it can also work for our clients. So now let's take a demo time. This is a small software that I've created. What actually it does, it takes the design specification from the user, let's say tables.xls. It asks for the destination. Table structure, it has got 3 sheets, so the first one it is the, and we can even override the file name if you want. This is the actual document, table structure. So the actual data starts from the second row and the first column. So second row, first column, and we want primary keys, foreign keys, and nullables to be there in the scripts generated. I want it to be follow conventions as well as all the outputs should be in an isolated format. And if you want to compress it, you can compress it. Let's start. You can see 3 tables have been created. You can use even the console mode if you want. It will be useful for the developers who are working on the project and can give, and this one can give you intermediate results and some extra information as well. Apart from that, there is also called customizer. You can directly load the tables into this and you can change the tables on fly. Let's say, for example, you want to change the customer ID to cust ID. And you want to change the number to varchar. So now if you generate the scripts, it will actually use this customized table, and if you generate these scripts, it will actually generate from this tables instead of this one. So it will not reflect the design specification. So it will not affect the design specification. So this is one example from Excel to script. There are many other utilities or many other features available in this utility, but I won't be able to explain each one of them because of time constraint. The another one is using image recognition technology. It actually creates an application. Just like I said, that machine can create a machine, and even a software can create a software, and it is currently working on my PC, and it is working automatically. I am not doing anything. So it is working without any human intervention. So even a software can actually create a software. This is the best proof of that. So it actually works just like a human brain, just like a part of a brain called cerebral cortex is responsible for face recognition and all. It uses an image recognition algorithm, and it does all the actions associated with that image. So you can see it is automatically writing the business logic as well. And it's currently working on my laptop. And I have made it work slow because so that you can see each and every step. Actually, it can work a lot faster. So let's come to the actual presentation now. So how did I use this automation in the project? Basically, I do all the build and deploy stuff in the project. So initially, I used to do all those things manually. But now using automation, I recently wrote a program in weekends which can actually fetch all the data from the different users, and it can build an Ant script. It can run an Ant script and build it, and it can generate a var file. It takes the backup of that, and it can store it into the SVN, and it stores and it deploys it to the a centralized server which runs a Linux, which is a Linux-based server which runs Apache Tomcat as an application server. And when everything is completed, it automatically puts a mail to each and every member of the team so that build and deployment is successful. And this is what it does automatically. And I've written it in a a scheduler. Means, for example, it gets automatically executed on every Friday. I don't need to even remember that I have to run this application. It will automatically get executed. So even if I forget, it will automatically execute. So another thing is YAWL documentation. The YAWL documentation is automatically generated. Actually, there is a tool called YAWL documentation generator, which is actually a tool written by another department of PNC. What I have done is I have taken automation and combined that tool with automation. Now it can actually generate documentation by own, and it can also put a mail to each and every member of the team. So the conclusion, most of the things can be actually automated if we follow proper conventions. And I believe that there should be a small mini utility team for quick and quality results, and it should be a combination of youngsters and experienced one. I believe that it can take the projects to the next level, and it's not about just we create the softwares, it's about how we create the softwares. And any software or any technology can never replace a human being, because software is just a kind of virtual machine, and machines can never ever replace a human being. So our jobs are safe. That's it from my side. I hope you guys have enjoyed this presentation, and thanks for being here. Thank you.